Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel. In today's video, we will be discussing a beautiful lesson from NCERT English book titled This is Jody's Fawn. This story is both heartwarming and thought-provocative, and I'm excited to guide you through it. The first thing that comes to your mind, thinking about an animal and human's relationship, it's about the relationship of the pet. You must have had a pet in your house or in your neighbor's house, like dogs and cats and all of these. So in this story, we are going to be learning about this bond through this lesson. So what is actually a fawn? Fawn is deer's baby, which is 1 year or lesser than that. I have a picture of it. This is a fawn. Okay. So as you can see, it's very cute and very beautiful. And if it's alone, you must have had a pity on it. But so over here we are going to be discussing about this particular animal, which is the center point of our lesson. So let's get started. This is Jody's fawn. This story is a short story written by William H. Hudson. This is a short story written by William H. Hudson, which takes us to the heart of nature and human connection with animals. In this, we will get to know about a young boy, Jody, and his deep bond with a fawn, which is a young. We will start this lesson by reading the text, and I will explain you what is happening in the story. Jody allowed his thoughts to drift back to the fawn. So Jody was thinking about the doe's child, which is a fawn. He could not keep it out of his mind. He held it in his dreams, in his arms. He slipped from the table and went to his father's bedside. Penny lay at the rest. His eyes were open clear, but the pupil was still dark and dilated. Jody said, "How are you feeling, Pa?" "Just fine, son. Oh, that has gone thriving elsewhere." But wasn't it too close?" "I agree." Penny said, "I'm proud of you, boy, the way you kept your head and did what was needed." "Pa." "Yes, son. Do you recollect the dog and the fawn? I can never forget about them. The poor doe saved me. I can never forget about them. The poor doe saved me, that's certain. Pa, the fawn must be out there yet. It might be hungry and very scared." To further understand this passage, I will tell you about what is actually happening. So, when a snake bites Jody's father, he kills a doe to save him. He uses his heart and liver to draw out the poison out of his body. However, the loss of the doe, that is the fawn's mother, so he tries to convince his family to make that fawn as their pet. And we will read about it in the next slide. "Can I ride back with Milby and see if I can find it?" "Tell your ma I said you can go." He slided back to the table and sat down. His mother was pouring a coffee for everyone. He said, "Ma, Pa say I can go bring back the fawn." She said, she held the coffee pot in mid-air. "What fawn?" "The fawn belongs to the doe we killed. We used the doe's liver to draw the poison out of your father." She gasped. "Well, for pity's sake, Pa says it would be ungrateful to leave it to starve." Doc Williams said, "That's right, ma'am. Nothing in the world comes quite free. Boy's right and his father's right." Millville said, "He can ride back with me. I'll help him find him." He let sound pot helplessly. Well, if you give it your milk, we've got nothing else to feed it." Millville said, "Come on, boy, we got to get riding." "Ma," Baxter asked anxiously, "you'll not be gone long." Jody said, "I'll be back before dinner for sure." Millville mounted his horse and pulled Jody's behind him. He said to Millville, "Do you think the fawn's still there? Will you help him? Do you still think the fawn's still here? Will you help me find him? We'll find him if he's alive." "How you know if he is?" "The spot where all the line on a dog, fawn past it. The spot are each way. We'll find him if he's alive." "How do you know it's a he?" "The spots were all in the line. On those fawn passes, the spots are each way." So in this scene, the whole family with the doctor, they're sitting around the table, and the mother is pouring the coffee down to each and every one. And suddenly, Jody says that he wants to find the fawn. He wants to find the ward of the doe, which helped his father to be alive. His mother was totally shocked about this and then she was like, how will you feed him? Like all the basic logical question popped on onto her mind, that how are we gonna be taking care of him? Like who will be providing milk for him? And the doctor says like Jody is a big boy, he will do it, and like everyone is convincing that Jody will take care of him. And then there's another character, Millwheels. Now in this scene, fathers now agree with Jody and permits him to do so. Further, he reminds Jody that they will need their mother's permission. Jody talks to his mother too regarding the same. She gets surprised, like obviously, randomly someone pops out the idea of adopting a fawn. That would be very random, and that would be very stressful for the mother of the family to welcome a new member of the family. Obviously, that she has to take care of him, she has to clean it and take care of the food. So she was a bit surprised at first. Jody then makes her realize that it would be very ungrateful to leave the fawn alone. And Dr. Wilson also helps Jody in persuading his mother. He says that nothing comes for free and now they have to pay the price. Millwheels also chips in and takes Jody to the forest. Mothers now agree only on one condition. The mother agrees only on one condition, that Jody keeps his promise. So what is the promise that mother had gave to Jody? The promise is to feed the fawn his share of milk, then set out the forest. Jody's promise is to feed the fawn the share of his milk. They then set out of the forest and finally find the little fawn. Jody carries it in his arm and brings to his father. Then he feeds them the milk from his. We will be reading the second phase of this prose. Jody gave himself over to the thought of the fawn. They passed down the abandoned clearing. He said, cut to the north, Millwheel, it was set up free. That path got bitten by the snake and killed the doe. I had saw the fawn. Suddenly Jody, unwillingly, to have Millwheel with him. If the fawn was dead or could not be found, he gave himself over the thoughts of the fawn. They passed the abandoned clearing. He said, cut to the north, Millwheel. It was up here that path got bitten by the snake and killed the doe. I saw the fawn. Suddenly, Jody was unwilling to have Millwheel with him. If the fawn was dead or could not be found or could not have been his disappointment seed, and if the fawn was there, the meeting would be so lovely and so secret that he could not enjoy to share it. He said, it's not far now, but the scrub is very thick for a horse to make it onto the foot. But I'm afraid to leave it to you, boy. Suppose you get lost or bitten by the snake too. I'll take care. It might take me long to find the fawn. If he's banded, leave me off right there. All right, you take it easy now. All right, you take it easy now. You know. All right, take it easy now. You know north here and east. There and there. The tall pines make the bearing so long Millwheel, I am obliged. He waited for the sound of the hoovers to end, then cut to the right. The shrub was still there, only his own crackling of the twigs surrounded across the silence. He wondered, for instance, he had made a mistake in the direction. In this scene, we got to know that in Jody's mind already there's a thought of the fawn and the dog right over there, and with him there is Millwheels, and he's worried about one thing, like if the fawn is not there, or like if he's abandoned, if he's like killed, the disappointment would be very huge for both him and Millwheels. And if he's right there, then Millwheel would be so excited that he would share it with everyone. So he's very concerned about that thought. Then buzzard rose in front of him, flapped into the air. He came to the clearing under the oaks. Okay, so then they have came to one place where the shrubs are very huge. So it's very difficult for their horse to keep on riding from there. So he's like Millwheels tells him that from here you have to walk alone. But you're a very small child, and how can I leave you? But Jody, he assured him that I am a big boy now. I will go there and find the fawn, and you don't have to take credibility of me, because I know all the direction and I can find the way up. He waited for the sound of the hooves to end, and then cut to the right. The shrub was still, only his own crackling of twigs sound across the silence. He wondered, for instance, he had mistaken for his direction. So right now he is right now in a place where it's total silence. and there's only like trees and shrubs and like pines which are on the onto the road of the road or road of the forest. So over there it's like so much of a pin drop silence that like there is no noise of the surroundings. The only sound that is coming is from the walking or like crackling of the pines. Then a buzzard rose in front of him and flapped into the air. He came into the clearing under the oak. Buzzards sat in the circle around the carcass of the doe. They turned their head on their long, scrawny neck and hissed at him. He threw his bow at them and they flew into the adjacent tree. The sand showed a large cat print, but the big cat killed fresh and they had left the doe in the carrion birds. He parted the grass at the place where he had seen the fawn. It did not seem possible that it was only yesterday. The fawn was not there. He circled the clearing and there was no sound, no sign. The buzzards clapped their wing, impatient to return to their business. He returned to the spot where the fawn had been immersed and dropped all the food. Studying the sand and the small hoof print in the night, the rain had washed away the track except for the cats and the buzzards. He reached the trail and walked as fast as he could until he reached the intersection with the road home. He stopped at the rest and set the fawn on his dangling legs. He wavered on them. It looked at him and bleated. He said, enchanted, I carry you after I get my breath. He remembered that his father was saying the fawn would follow if it was first being carried. He started away slowly. The fawn started after him. He came back to it and stroked it and walked away again. It took few wobbling steps towards him and cried piteously. It was willing to follow him. It belonged to him. It was his own. He was light-headed with joy and it wanted to fondle him. To run and romp with him, to call it to come to him. He dared not alarmed it. He picked it up and carried it in front of him over his two arms. It seems that he walked without efforts. His arm began to ache and he was forced to stop again. When he walked on, the fawn followed him. He allowed to it with a little distance. Then he picked up again. The distance at the home was nothing. He could have walked all day. He could have walked all day and into the night carrying it, and breeze blew the June morning, cooling him. The sky was clear as the spring water in a blue china cup. He came to the clearing. It was fresh and green after the night rain. He fumbled with the latch and was finally obliged to set down the fawn to manage it. Then he had an idea. He would walk into the house, into Penny's bedroom, with fawn walking behind him, but the steps the fawn blocked and refused to climb them. He picked it up and went to the father, and Penny lazed and closed his eyes. Jody called, Pa, look! Penny turned his head. Jody stood behind him. The fawn clutched hard against him. It seemed to Penny that the boy's eyes were bright as the fawn's. He said, I'm glad you find him. Jody then went to the kitchen. The fawn bumbled after him the pan. A pan of morning milk was stood in the kitchen, saved. The cream had risen. On it, he skimmed the cream into the jug. He poured the milk on the small groat. He held it out to the fawn. It butted. It suddenly smelling the milk. He saved it precautiously, the milk spilling over the floor. He could not think of the milk on the ground. He dipped his finger in the milk and thrust it into fawn's soft and wet mouth. He sucked greedily. Then he withdrew him. It bleated frantically and butted him. He dipped his finger again and fawn sucked it again, lowered them slowly into the milk. The fawn blew it, sucked it and snorted. It stamped its small hoof impatiently. As long as he held his finger below the level of the milk, the fawn was content. It closed its eyes dreamily. It was ecstasy to feel. It stung against his hand. Its small tail flickered back and forth. The last of the milk vanished. The swirl of the fawn gurgling. So this was our beautiful lesson. The things we learned from this lesson is love and compassion. Like love of Jody to the fawn and compassion for him to like even provide his fingers so that the fawn could drink the milk. No, we can learn these kind of things. Responsibility, the second most important characteristic of Jody is that he took the full responsibility, full credibility that because of his father, because his father's health, the fawn's mother, the doe, has to be killed. So he took the responsibility and learned from Jody's story. Like his father was sick, because of him they have to kill the doe, and then Jody took the responsibility of the fawn. He have gone searching for the deer scared the fawn in the forest for so long, and he was so super scared, but like he still managed to get out of his fear and take responsibility, credibility of his pet. In conclusion, Jody's fawn is not just about in conclusion, the whole story is not just about a little kid and the deer. In conclusion, this is Jody's fawn is not just a story about a young boy and a fawn. It's a reminder of how we as humans are connected to the nature and all living beings are. It teaches us to be kind, responsible, and to understand the importance of freedom, both for ourselves and others. Thank you for watching the video. If you like the video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. For more educational content, please let me know in the comment section like what you think about this video, what you think about Jody's decision to pursue his heart of adopting the fawn, and like tell me in the comments what you think about it. Thank you.